Next on Eyewitness News, from hero in an explosion to defendant. A jury decides whether this man saved lives or put them in danger.
They know who he is, but they still don't know how he died. Today, the medical examiner looks into the death of a man found floating in the Connecticut River.
And a state-of-the-art jacket to save firefighters' lives, donated in memory of one who didn't make it.
Now, Eyewitness News this morning.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Eyewitness News this morning. I'm Greg Coy.
And I'm Polly Bell. Thanks so much for joining us. It is Tuesday.
Yes, and you might need an umbrella before you head out the door.
Let's check in with Joe Furey and find out. Hi, Joe.
Polly, Craig, good morning. We do have rain around us this morning, that is for sure, and across the state there is some fog and drizzle to deal with this morning. Let's take a look at temperatures, see how we're doing there. Temperatures not too bad this morning. On the chilly side, in the 40s overall. 40 though in Enfield and Meriden this morning. Goshen's 42, Storrs is 46, Windham though is 34 with a quarter-mile visibility and fog. A lot of fog around this morning. 48 at Milford and 52 in for Groton, New London. There's a little drizzle in some locations too, and now the forecast for today, mostly cloudy skies, the early fog, showers will be around today as well, and high temperatures that are in the 50s. I'll have more on the 5-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Greg?
Okay, Joe, thanks a lot. This morning, a jury in New London decides if the actions of a hero were nothing more than negligent. 3 years ago, David Foltz drove his flaming gasoline tanker away from a major intersection in Chesterfield. The Goodyear company named him a hero. Now some residents are suing Foltz, saying he almost caused a catastrophic accident. Channel 3's Jennifer Watson explains.
It looked a little bit like hell, you know, if you could imagine it.
John Kowaleski could more than imagine it. He was fire chief 3.5 years ago, and he watched the explosive accident happen right in front of his department.
Once it caught fire, it was almost pitch black. The smoke banked down to your knees. There was a time when I was on my hands and knees to get out of the smoke.
It's May 2nd at 3:30 in the afternoon. A man is driving down this road when the brakes on his dump truck go out, and he's approaching the major intersection at Route 85. Now, about to go through that intersection on a green light is 45-year-old David Foltz, who was driving a tanker and carrying 8,000 gallons of gasoline.
The fire seemed to start on impact.
And then the sheet of flame just followed the truck up the road and eventually caught up with it.
45-year-old David Foltz drove the tanker several hundred feet away from the intersection and jumped out of the cab and ran to safety before it went up completely in flames. Foltz was called a hero, was even awarded the 1994 Goodyear Connecticut Hero Award. But 13 people who live here have now sued him, claiming Foltz is partly to blame for the crash that day.
It's a very emotional subject. Do we think people have a personal gain here? I'm not sure.
The lawsuit has split this village, those who blame Foltz and those who are pulling for him.
Well, I hope everything works out for the driver. I'm kind of rooting for him.
Chief, tell me what you think would have happened if he hadn't kept driving to get out of the way.
You probably would not be talking with me because I was standing in front of the firehouse when it happened. If he had put the brakes on the truck, the gasoline would have enveloped this whole area.
Jennifer Watson, Channel 3 Eyewitness News this morning. An autopsy is scheduled today on the body of a Windsor man found floating yesterday in the Connecticut River. Police say 59-year-old Francisco Betancourt has been missing since October 15th. Betancourt was found at Riverside Park in Hartford yesterday afternoon. It's not known if foul play is involved. Windsor police are asking you to call them if you have any information on this case. In Stony Creek last night, firefighters unveiled a new state-of-the-art jacket designed to save lives. The Smart Jacket is built to detect heat. When it gets too hot, an alarm sounds like you're hearing there, warning the firefighter to get out of a burning building. The jacket, made by the Sunnycore Company of Oxford, was donated to the Stony Creek Fire Station in memory of Eddie Ramos, who died Thanksgiving Day while battling a warehouse fire in Brantford.
This morning, no clues on what may have caused a Hartford recycling plant to explode. Employees had to be evacuated after a fire broke out. It happened at the Connecticut River Authority on Maxim Road. The plant is located in the South Meadow area. There are no reports of injuries.
A former Chinese restaurant worker begs a federal judge for leniency before he's sentenced for kidnapping his former boss's son. Zhen Zhang was sentenced yesterday to 8 years in prison for the crime. The boy was taken from his Bristol nursery school to New York City. Jen then demanded a ransom from the 4-year-old's family. Jen may be subject to deportation after his sentence is served. No pardon for a woman who set her sleeping husband on fire 5 years ago. Michelle Chapman says she no longer abuses alcohol and wants to see her sons grow up. Harry Chapman suffered burns over 45% of his body in the fire, and one prosecutor says Michelle Chapman was not a battered wife fighting back as she claimed. Chapman was looking to the State Board of Pardons to release her early from a 16-year term. We now have an eerie update this morning in the death of a Granby woman struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver. New details show that witnesses on the scene saw 40-year-old Kimberly Katrinas lying on the dark road outside, but thought it was part of a Halloween act. Katrinas was hit as she crossed the road to join her children at a nearby Halloween haunted house. An arrest in the case was made this past Friday.
The polls are open in the Connecticut cities and towns holding elections today. Almost 2 million people are registered to vote. And one of the most hotly contested races is this one here for the mayor of Waterbury. Republican incumbent Philip Giordano, you see there, squaring off against State Representative Tom Conway, the man there in the video. The race centers on issues like crime, development, and the character of the candidates. Look for Channel 3, Connecticut's news station, to provide continuing coverage of Waterbury and the other races in the election. And we'll start showing you numbers as soon as they come in, and we'll have the wrap-up on the Night Beat at 11.
And if you can vote, get out there and do it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
The polls are open. Okay.
That's right. That's the word for the day. Well, it's 6:36 on Connecticut's news station, and coming up in our next half hour, a warning about a drug used to control diabetes and how it could cause liver damage.
Plus, in this half hour, public pressure is mounting on a Massachusetts judge to reduce Louise Woodward's life sentence for murder.
And at 6:41, the calendar reads November, but they are already sprucing signs of Christmas in some parts of the country.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nancy Aborn, live in Putnam. Tammy here may have made your buttons as you get dressed for work this morning. We'll meet all the buttonologists at US Button in Putnam when Eyewitness News This Morning continues.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News. This is Connecticut's news station. Tonight, can a private investigator keep an ex-con from stealing again?
I got no choices. You got me.
Danny Aiello is Della Ventura. Then in a special report on Channel 3 at 11. Millions of Americans suffer chronic pain every day. Now there is a new treatment that can take away a lifetime of pain in just hours. Could it work for you? One woman's story will amaze you. Tonight at 11 on Channel 3, Connecticut's news station.
Time now is 6:40 in business news. Job cuts at a brand name apparel maker. Levi Strauss says it will lay off nearly 6,400 employees. The company also plans to close 11 plants in 4 states. Levi says the closings and cuts are a result of declining demand for its jeans. The job cuts will slice 34% of its manufacturing workforce in the U.S. and Canada. On Wall Street, Dow Jones Industrials gained 232 points to close at 7,674. 573 million shares changed hands.
Hard to believe, but yes, it's almost Christmas, and you know what that means. Bring out the trees, the lights, and other holiday decorations. Folks at the largest private home built are just doing that. Officials at the Biltmore House in North Carolina hauled in a 35-foot Fraser fir Christmas tree. You know how long it's going to take to decorate it. Believe it or not, Christmas it's coming. Wow. But the weather outside is not snowy. It's talking about rain.
That's correct. Hi, Joe.
Polly, Greg, good morning. Yes, we are talking about an unsettled day ahead and another storm in the offing for later on this week. But as far as this morning goes, hard to see in some locations. And Mike Allen can tell you a little more about that in a moment. Very foggy in some spots this morning. And the temperature. 40 Enfield, 42 at Goshen, Waterbury's 49 this morning, Storrs 46. Higher up in elevation you are this morning, the warmer it is due to the southerly flow. It is 40 at Meriden, 48 Milford, and 52 in Fort Groton, New London. Windham this morning, a cool spot, quarter-mile visibility and fog, and 34 there. Bradley, half-mile visibility and some fog and 39, 47 in for Bridgeport, Brainerd at 40 this morning. All right, this morning, now we've got some action going on out to our east here. Area of low pressure is making for some wet weather out across eastern New England. And this big area of low pressure that's made for a bit of a snowy time in parts of the Ohio Valley the last 24 hours. That's spinning like a top now and slowly moving toward us. So as we work our way through today, we'll work some of these showers in here, especially for midday and this afternoon. So a lot of us will get wet with these on and off showers that'll be around today. And well, I really don't think we're going to see too much in the way of any sunshine. So we'll rotate the system on through. Again, there could be a heavy shower or two around and even a chance for a rumble of thunder. Then we'll get some sunshine back as we go in for tomorrow. But this storm system out here is going to start to take a dive down to the south and then move its way back up the eastern seaboard. That means we have perhaps a windswept heavy rain to deal with again on Friday as that jet is taking a dip. 43 Chicago, 57 Atlanta today. There's your sunrise at 6:27 down at 4:41 this afternoon. Not much in the way of sun today. Mostly cloudy skies, early fog and drizzle today, and those showers around for midday and this afternoon. High today in the mid-50s, so not as mild as it was yesterday. For tonight, we'll clear things out after some evening showers, low into the 30s, and then tomorrow, partly sunny, high temperatures tomorrow in the 50s. The 5-day shows increasing clouds Thursday in the 50s, and then a rainy Friday. May stay in the 40s on Friday, and then Saturday's highs maybe perhaps just in the 40s with the rain. Could change over to some flurries in some towns later on Saturday.
Christmas is around the corner.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, time now here is 6:44. Was it foggy when you came in?
No, actually.
Was it? Well, it's fog is out there now. Let's check out the morning commute.
That's right. Mike Allen is in WTIC's Car 1 with the Eyewitness News This Morning traffic check. Hi, Mike. Okay, apparently we lost him, but we'll have him back in a moment.
Well, we do have Nancy Aborn. She's standing by in Putnam with something we all use every day.
Oh, that's right. Hi there, Nancy.
Hi, I just really took for granted that they make so many of them here in Putnam, the #1 button manufacturer in the country. This is a sampling of what they make here at the facility at US Button. They have 140 buttonologists on the job here this morning in 3 shifts. And Mo Kader is the Director of Operations and our tour guide this morning. Thank you so much for having us here.
You're welcome.
Tell us a little bit about your involvement with the military.
We are one of the larger military manufacturers of buttons in the United States. Right now we're making the olive drab button for the battle dress uniform. When we had Desert Storm, Desert Shield, we had to surge and work 6 days a week, 3 shifts to be able to provide our military with the buttons for their garments.
And what we're looking at now, these are the olive drab.
Right, they go for the forest battle dress uniform.
Okay.
For the cold weather. As opposed to the other ones are for the desert and the warmer weather.
And the ones Mike Fisher's looking at right now, those are the khaki buttons.
That's correct. Those would probably go on a rainwear type jacket.
Why is he shaking the pallet like that?
That's to put the buttons into the loading board to be able to place them onto the cavities that are on the press in order to manufacture the button itself. And now he's just dumping out the buttons that are going in they were air cooled, and now they're going to be sitting in the barrel to be sent to the next process when the lot is completed.
It's interesting that even the buttons that are defects, although you don't want to, talk about the defect buttons, but they have a second life. Tell us quickly about that.
They're used as a blast media, and they replace the chemicals that were used to clean planes and so on. So this is just a forced media onto the plane, and it takes off the paint on the plane.
So your button pieces are actually ground up.
That's correct.
And then shot at the airplanes, and it helps take the dirt off?
Right, plus it's more environmentally friendly for the people that are doing that particular type of a job.
Fascinating. Thank you, Mo. Thank you so much. We'll be back with him in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Nancy
That
Aborn.
really is fascinating.
Talking buttons in Putnam.
Yeah, buttonologist. I like that word. All right, it's 6:46, and a former goalie for the Whalers defends himself against wife abuse charges. And plus, during our 7 o'clock hour, is Iraq bluffing when it threatened to shoot down our planes? The U.S. is willing to find out.
And at 6:50, John Travolta's wife is getting some unwanted attention and is looking for protection. Details in People in the News when we come right back.